Hey everyone, this is Sam at LuckyVitamin. We're here today trying something new. We're at Boiron at their laboratory. I'm joined today by Jeremy, who all of you know, LuckyVitamin's own Naturopathic Doctor, and Christophe, who is the Director of Education and Pharmacy Development with Boiron. So this is pretty cool. We're in a lab, right, where these guys make homeopathic remedies. For those of you that don't know, Boiron is the world leader in homeopathic medicines. They've been a good friend and partner of ours here at LuckyVitamin for over 10 years, I think. So we're super excited to be with them today. These guys make over 1,500 homeopathic remedies. And we're actually going to make a remedy for all of you live today so you can see it. And it's going to be awesome. So I guess, why don't you tell us a little bit, Christophe, give us a little background, tell us about Boiron and the company, a little bit of the history and your background.
Well, Boiron has been founded in France in 1932 by two twin brothers, Jean and Henry Boiron. And their goal was first to provide to patients and doctors medicines that were very reliable, always made the same way. Because of course what you want when you buy a medicine is to be sure that it is what it is. So they started, in France, in Lyon, the second city in France at that time. And then as homeopathy really became very popular and mainstream, they developed many different distribution branches in France, and then they opened subsidiaries in the world. Wow. So for example, France is about the size of Texas, and we have 13 distribution branches there. We are distributing in 18 subsidiaries, and we are distributing, in fact, now in more than 80 countries in the world.
Wow.
So in '83, they decided that they would merge with an American company, Boiron Labs, and open the Boiron Laboratory in the US. So we moved in this facility in '94, I think, and just on 93, just 1 year before I came working for Boiron USA.
Okay. You've been here now for
21 years.
21 years. Wow, congratulations. That's great. That's excellent. So, you want to show us around?
So this is the main lab where we manufacture all medicines. So homeopathic medicines are regulated as drugs. They are not supplements or herbs. So there is a great deal of recording and controlling. So every meaningful step we do during manufacturing is recording in those batch records. The number of labels, we record also the lot number of the bottle, the lot number of the label, the lot number of the dropper, and of course inactive and active ingredients lot number, in order to be sure that when you have this lot number and you say, okay, maybe there is a problem, we can trace it back. We can even trace it back to the flower or the plant. From the lot number, I can tell you the weather when the plant was picked, because we have to record that as well.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So speaking about the hum that you hear is the fact is the air, the vents. The air is renewed several times per hour. And why are we dressed like this? Because we want to avoid anything to float in the air, particles, there and things, and potentially contaminate the medicine. So start here if you want. So in this place, it's a little bit quieter. We have the most concentrated forms of homeopathic medicines called our tinctures. So they really are like herbal extract. You can find here calendula, which is marigold, wild oats, Avena allium sativum, which is garlic, and also a lot of different medicines. And we have also what we call chemotherapy. It's not homeopathy, that's a different technique, but we have a lot of these bottles as well. And here we keep the alcohol. It's a bolted cabinet, earthquake-proof to a certain extent. And that's where we keep our flammable liquids. So mother tinctures are really, they have about the same properties as the plant. So if the plant is toxic, the mother tincture will be also toxic. So this is a tincture of Alphone, which is deliverable on prescription only. So it has the necessary levels and so on and so forth. So,
And how much do each of these hold?
those are 1 liter, so that's about 1/4.
Which will make how many doses?
Well, those are sold for as tinctures.
Okay.
So we'll fill up 1 or 2 ounces bottles
Okay.
of the tincture.
Okay.
I'll show you later where we take the medicine, where the tinctures are, the one we use to make the homeopathic medicines.
Great. Let's check it out.
Good. So this is our dilution library. So in these drawers you have the lowest possible dilutions we can get and subsequent attenuation, subsequent dilution. So here for Mercurius corrosivus, for example, which is a salt of mercury, you have the 6C, the 7C, the 8C, the 9C, the 10C, the 11C, 12C, 14C, 15C, 29C, and I think here you have the 30C. And same thing for the X.
So are these the mother, like the ones you use to make the pellets then?
It is exactly that. When I need to make a 30C, I will medicate the pellets with the 30C.
Okay.
Okay? So they are prepared in advance. Of course, we can prepare intermediate dilutions, but we use usually 6, 9, 12, 15, and 30C.
Okay.
Okay, so everything is traced. We have, of course, a computer system that tells us the expiration date, where it comes from, the lot number, so we can trace it back from France. Everything comes, the low dilutions here, or the tinctures, of course, come from France.
How many different tinctures do you have in these drawers here?
I don't know, 800?
Wow.
Yeah, about 800.
Yeah. You got to stay organized.
It has to be very, very organized. As I said, because those are drugs, we are regularly inspected by Pennsylvania FDA and federal FDA as well.
Right.
They even went to France last year and inspected all 5 manufacturing plants there.
Oh wow. So, yeah. But you got that's
Good.
yeah.
So this is the quarantine. That's where we keep batches that have not been released. They are inspected, of course, by our quality control department. And so this is where as long as they have not been inspected, they cannot get out.
So do you inspect every batch? What's the quality control procedure like?
We have to inspect and receive every batch.
Okay.
We have to, not only every batch we make, but every batch we receive.
Okay.
So when we receive a batch of bottles, we have to make sure those are the bottles we ordered and those are the ones we use. Same thing for labels, same thing for alcohol, same thing for anything that's involved in the manufacturing. That's pharmaceutical standard.
It's great. Yeah. Well, it's important. I mean, you've got to have quality here to these products. They're taking them for health. I mean,
We have to document and prove that what we have done is what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
great.
So why don't we take a look? So this is the part of the lab where we manufacture all dilutions. So let's go in. So Michel, who is our lab manager, will operate, but just a few words before.
Why don't you get in there and see the pellets?
This is a laminar flow enclosure. So through that grid on the back, there is extremely pure air that's flowing to the front, and that prevents particles to go inside the hood. And so that's where we have to operate in order to be sure that we are not diluting anything else than the medicine. So we have dispensers that are dispensing the exact volume that we want, micropipeters, and Michel, what tincture do you have here?
This is Thuja.
So this is a tincture of Thuja. So this is made from the plant, which is the tree of life plant. It's an evergreen bush, in fact. And the tincture is prepared by maceration of this plant. So Michelle, go ahead, and I will comment what you are doing.
Okay.
So Michelle will start using the micropipette to take a certain volume, which is how much? 2 milliliters of the tincture, and put it in a freshly cleaned new bottle. So she will, of course, what you don't see is in fact the fact that everything is labeled normally. She will complete with the appropriate volume of 70% alcohol in order to have a 1% dilution, right? And now we do the second phase, which is the succussion or dynamization. So this dynamizer is calibrated to shake 150 times in 7.5 seconds, and that's the same device in all Boiron Laboratories. So they are always shaken the same way. Without this step, the medicine will not work as well, or will not work at all. So now we have the first dilution, which will be the
2x.
Which will be the 2x. The marrow tincture in that case is a 1x. We just manufacture the 2x, so it's a 110 dilution, so dilution by 10, sorry. So if we repeat, Michelle will take 1 part of the 2x, put that in a new bottle, and dilute it with 10 parts of pure solvent, which is 70% alcohol, and of course, dynamize it. So same thing.
That's funny because they didn't used to have these machines that you thought of these. They're pounded against the hair. 150 times. 150.
And we want the process to be always the same.
Right.
Okay? As so, Michelle, that's the 3x that
That's
you
the
did.
3.
And if you do it once again, you will have the 4x, and so on and so forth. So you see that with the dilution process, the tincture, which is toxic, in fact, which should not be swallowed, it's used externally to treat warts, but should not be swallowed. As you dilute it, of course, there is no more toxicity. And at the same time, you have the homeopathic properties that appear. So Fuja in low dilution, 6,6, will be used internally also in some cases, for example, to treat some warts. And also, it's used to decrease the side effect of vaccination, to avoid the kind of inflammation or flu-like symptoms that could appear after vaccination.
Any specific vaccination, or?
Most of them,
Okay.
yes.
So now this might be, I always get a lot of questions, and maybe you can help explain this, and this might be a good time for the viewers. The difference between the X potency and then the C potency.
All the X potencies are diluted. Each one is 10 times more diluted than the previous one. So the C dilution, C means 100 in Latin. Each dilution is 100 times more diluted than the previous one. So Hahnemann, the founder of homeopathy, started with a C dilution, wanted to have a method very recurrent so it could be done again the same way. And but he was using some medicines in low dilution, 1C, 2C, precisely because the points were toxic, like arsenic, and he thought that sometimes he needed something between 1C and 2C. So he created the X dilution to be able to have intermediary dilution, so 1C, 3X, 2C, 5X, so he could fine-tune the dosage with those toxic substances. And after that, the X scale was extended up to 30C, like the C scale.
So how do you recommend then somebody starts? Do you start with a lower dosage and work your way up, or what's the...
No, in fact, the dilution depends on the type of symptoms. If those symptoms are local, you use a low dilution, a 6C or a 6.6. If the symptoms are general and encompass the whole body and sometimes the mind, behavioral symptoms, then you use a high dilution 30X or 30C.
Okay.
You have specific medicines like, for example, some salt of gold used in uterine fibromas. They work in 3X
Okay.
and not anymore after that.
Okay.
So you have low dilution that are very specific for some usages.
Okay. Wow, it's a lot to learn. That's great. Thank you. So for everyone that's just joining us, right? We're here with Boiron. Boiron is a manufacturer of homeopathic remedies, over 1,500 homeopathic remedies. We're with Christophe, who's their head of pharmacy and education. And we just learned and watched the production of homeopathic remedy live. So thank you, that was really, really great.
So once we have the dilution, of course, we can medicate neutral pellets, or we could, that's what we do in France, of course, we could put it in syrups, in suppositories, in tablets, in eye drops, in liquid doses for baby teething. But that's of course industrial process. Here we manufacture only small series for medicine that are not very current, so it's more convenient for us to do them here than to have them shipped from France.
These are all custom formulas.
They are
Okay.
really small series. That means
Okay.
medicine that are not very current.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So once it's here, once you have the tincture here, where do we go?
So once the medicine is made, it would first go to the drying station. It would go there, where we would medicate pellets. Those are pellet dispensers. If you can take a look, those are neutral pellets. They have not been medicated.
So what are the pellets? What do you use your pellets? Are they lactose? Are they?
So the pellets are done in France by a very complex process. They are done like little pearls. We start with crystals of lactose.
Okay.
That contains 15% lactose, 85% sucrose. And in huge rotating turbines that are heated, we first pulverize syrup. Everything turns, of course. And then we add powdered sugar, okay? Powdered sugar.
It always tastes sweet.
And it rotates, so the heat then is applied. So the water from the syrup evaporates, okay?
Yeah.
And the pellet grows a little bit.
Okay.
And we do the cycle again. So we have two things. The pellets are growing, so it takes 13 days to make a pellet as big as the one for a cinnamon, and 3 more days to do these ones. We have to sift them to be sure that they're all the same size. If they are too small, they are recycled to grow again. If they are too big, well, we destroy them, and in fact we sell them to beekeepers.
Really?
So that's added to, we recycle stuff. And so the second consequence is that pellets are not spheres. They are like little sponges.
Right.
So when you medicate the pellet with a homeopathic medicine, the liquid really doesn't stay outside, it really goes inside.
Okay.
So that helps us to make sure that all the pellets contain the same amount of homeopathic medicine. And we have to validate that also. We have to make sure that it's what we get is what we want to get.
So why do you use the pellets versus the tinctures? What's the difference?
Well,
What's the benefit?
with tinctures sometimes, as I told you, are toxic, and they have the properties of the herb.
Okay.
The homeopathic properties are different. So in order to facilitate absorption, we medicate the pellet. So you put them in the mouth, and they will melt in a few, not even 1 minute, and they would be absorbed through the mucous membrane of your mouth. Okay? And then they go directly to the bloodstream. They don't go in the stomach. In fact. That's why the quantity of lactose in our pellets is not enough to trigger reactions in lactose-intolerant people. And not only because there is not enough, it's 1/300th of a cup of milk in lactose equivalent, but also it doesn't go in the intestine.
Great.
So once you have that, we let them dry, of course, and then we package them in our blue tubes. Maybe I can show you with natural pellets. So let's pretend this is medicated. And I would take tube. This. I would simply pinch, fill the tube. Okay, that's about 80 pellets. Close and label. And then you can use the pellet dispenser to get your pellets down.
Excellent.
Okay, here you have 5 pellets.
Why do you use the pellet? Why? I mean, it was really smart to put the pellet dispenser. Is that so you don't get the oil of like your hand on the remedy and stuff?
We take, you see how many precautions we take to avoid contamination. So we don't want the patient to contaminate at the last minute. It would be absurd. It's not because the medicine would be, would lose its potential, its properties. It's because it's just common sense. So once you have 5 pellets here, okay, in the pellet dispenser, it's not just too much strength. Oops. Normally there is a label that prevents that to happen. Okay, you just take them, put them in your mouth, let them down.
Done. That's great.
One thing that I didn't insist too much upon is that everything is super documented. The kind of label, and someone will control that it's the right label.
Okay.
The batch number of the tube, the batch number of the cap, the batch number of the label are recorded as well. And then it's inspected by quality control, who will say, okay, everything's okay, I release or I reject, or I quarantine it pending further inspection.
Can we show them a label?
Yeah, so that would be a label,
Now we have
label
one, yeah.
2. That's the Allium Cepa 15C, labeled, it's sealed. You have barcodes, you have UPC code, you have expiration date,
And then that's the most
indication.
common use on there?
Yeah. Yeah, very important. You have several types of indications for most of the homeopathic medicines. And we have to put an indication, because that's FDA regulation. So we choose an indication that's that can allow the medicine to be sold over the counter. We will never put heart attack, for example, because that's not obviously. And we'll put the one that is the most reliable. So people can just see the indication, take it, and mostly they will have the best result.
So even though there is a use on there, that's not the only use?
That's not the only use, and this is why we have created the Boiron Medicine Finder, which is a free app that you can download from iTunes, Google App, or Amazon.
Yeah, and we actually have the app on our website, so you can, on each product you're looking at, you can bring up the app and you can enter your symptoms or enter the remedy and see what symptoms or health concern that product may help with. So,
422 protocols in there.
wow,
22 protocols.
it's great. It's been incredible. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I don't know if we have any questions from the audience, but if anybody wants to ask any questions, feel free to type them into the comments, and we'll try to ask Christophe here and see if we can get them answered for you. For those of you who aren't familiar with homeopathy, because it's incredible, there's so much you can learn about it, and I don't even think we even touched on some of the benefits and science and the history of homeopathy, but we actually have on our YouTube channel on the site, you can go on and you can see Jeremy has hosted a couple webinars that are available on there, and we've also done a couple guest series. So if you're interested in learning more about homeopathy, there's a ton of content. Check out our blog. You can look on there for some of the articles we've done, or please go watch the webinar. It's Homeopathy 101. Start there. You'll learn all about it, all about the different medicinal benefits of homeopathy, and then this will all make sense, and you'll understand exactly what we were doing today, how these guys are making these products, and it's really incredible. So. If we don't have any questions from the audience, then I'm gonna wrap up here. I want to just thank everybody, and I encourage you to go check out, go onto the LuckyVitamin.com site, go on any of the homeopathic products from Boiron. You'll find the finder there. You can search for different remedies. Over 1,500 remedies available. Homeopathy is an incredible way to promote health and wellness. And we're really happy and proud to be here today with Boiron and long-term partners. Looks like we got one question. So,
what Boiron remedy can I use for allergy?
allergy recommendations.
Okay, you have several medicines for allergy. For hay fever, we recommend our combination, which is called Sabadil, contains homeopathic dilution of ragweed, of goldenrod, also dilutions of histamine, which is the main mediator that's involved in allergies, contains dilutions of euphrasia for itchy eyes. So that's the simplest way. If you want to use the single medicine, I really highly recommend that you go and download the Boiron Medicine Finder. It will enter. You will have allergies, food allergy, hives also, and you enter in 3 clicks. You will get the medicine that's the most appropriate.
Great, thank you. All right, well, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. This will be re-airing. We'll be sharing this on Facebook, so watch it again, and we appreciate it. Thanks for coming and watching us today, and thank you again to Christophe for your time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.